This is AF Cast, the video game podcast. And here's your host, Malcolm Sheaver.
Almost any game has achievements that you can complete. Sometimes you can achieve them by simply playing the game, and there are others that you have to work towards. Even if you don't hunt achievements, getting a notification for completing one is still satisfying. Some people, like me, hunt them and try their best to complete them. This week on AFcast, we will be talking about video game achievements and hunting. Achievements usually range in difficulty. The easier ones usually have a smaller reward like less game points or a bronze trophy. As you go up, you start to gain better rewards, but you also have to deal with more challenging goals in order to receive that reward. Personally, I like Xbox achievements better because of the game point system. Basically, each achievement is worth a certain amount of game points, which allows you to be more specific than something like PlayStation has set up. PlayStation does it by trophies, which they have like bronze, silver, gold, and last but not least, platinum. And everything depends on the service you use on PC. Like usually I don't see any rewards for achievements, but at least they're still there. And then I also tend to go for not only all of the achievements, but in-game completion as well. So sometimes achievements don't cover all the items, challenges, side missions, etc. that you can do in a game. So I personally like to completely 100% the game, which is overkill. I do realize that. I have only completed 4 games 100% because it is much more difficult than just completing the achievements. And that's, obviously, but that's just because of time. And I've completed like all of the achievements for several more, but there's plenty of in-game things still left for me to do in those games, or maybe I'm even close to a couple of them as well. But there are some ones where the like actual challenge itself isn't necessarily worth the reward. But I still like to go after that stuff because I don't always care about the game points or the trophy that you get for it. I just care about actually having that trophy, or not having that trophy, having that achievement completed. It's kind of like a, I did this and I deserve what I got, even if it's not like to the highest standard. But if you were to look back and read over those achievements, you could see what you've done. And it's interesting going back and looking over, like, because you get to see like how much time and effort you put into a game. And though a lot of people will probably criticize you for that, I won't, because I do it all the time and people criticize me for it all the time. But it's just like real life achievements that people complete with their personal stuff. Like it's the same exact thing. It's just that it's more laid out and structured. And of course I set up my own kind of personal achievements as well, which is kind of where I go for that 100% completion, that I like to complete myself as well in games. So you don't only have to focus, or maybe you don't even have to go for all of the achievements, but certain achievements. Like I know someone who doesn't like achievement hunt per se, but they always want to have all the collectibles in the game. So they're not really like an achievement hunter or 100% completionist. They just like to hunt for the collectibles specifically. And they don't even like to pull up YouTube videos and stuff like that. They like to find them on their own, which I personally don't like to do. I like to look up YouTube videos for it because I don't want to spend that much time finding collectibles. I just want the achievement. But yeah. So hunting achievements takes a lot of time and practice. Practice sounds like a weird word, but it's true. Whether this comes to finding hidden objects or collectibles like I just mentioned, or even completing like complicated tasks, it will take practice if you want to start going into the achievement hunting game. For me, it always depended on what game I was playing, for what achievements I wanted to target first. So like story-driven games, I tended to play through the story over and over until I have all of the achievements based on that, and then I move to multiplayer achievements, and then for multiplayer based games, it's usually the other way around, except for stuff like Call of Duty, because with me being 100% completionist, I have to get all of the camos in the game as well. So I tend to bounce back and forth, but usually I prioritize playing multiplayer over the campaign, especially since most of the campaigns aren't good in Call of Duty anyway. But there are some exceptions to that rule. Then there's even some stuff where achievements aren't even in one of the two. Like there might, like for Titanfall 2, for example, I think there's only like 1 or 2 achievements that are actually for the multiplayer, and they don't take that long to get to. But all of the other achievements is, completing certain things in the campaign. And I think Titanfall 2, Titanfall 2 isn't something I've 100% completed. I've gotten all the achievements for it, but there are so many banners and like gun camos and stuff that you can get in that game that I will probably never complete that. But it's always fun, because I feel like when you hunt achievements and stuff like that, you tend to go back to games that you've played before that you might not have gone back to if you weren't just looking to hunt for achievements in some random game. Like sometimes I quite literally spin a wheel of games and start hunting those the achievements in those games, and I find it fun. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just, I always just like to bounce between games. It allows, like, hunting achievements isn't just about going after the achievements themselves, but it is actually about, at least for me, it's about jumping between different games and playing them through again, and having a new challenge than just trying to complete it. So instead of like Halo, for example, instead of me going through it again and trying to just complete the story, this time around, while I'm completing the story, I'm also trying to find the different skulls in the game that you can collect. And so that's kind of what I like as well. It adds another layer of challenge that you can add into the game, especially when it comes to like difficulty in story games. Like you can have, there's legendary difficulty in Halo, there's realistic difficulty in Ghost Recon, just et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And so all those things add another layer of challenge to it that I really appreciate. And it's just an entirely new goal to work towards. And yeah, that's why I just absolutely love hunting them. But there are like certain things like the final camo in a COD game, so like Damascus or oh crap, that's just for the new one, or newish one. Well, I can't remember any other ones. Dark Matter is another one. But anyway, like, they aren't necessarily challenging. You just have to kind of set yourself up correctly to get it done the quickest and easiest way possible. So like what I tend to do, I tend to just go down the line of guns, or sometimes I do that, or sometimes I even just, like, if I want to play with this gun, then I'm playing with that gun. Or if I want to play with this gun, then I'm playing with that gun. But at the same time, I'm also trying to work towards completing the different challenges for that weapon. And then there are some things like the bunker, or the barrack challenges, not bunker challenges, barrack challenges in Modern Warfare, that you have that will actually tell you to use specific stuff like an assault rifle or an SMG, or play in TDM or play in domination, that type of thing. And it actually gives me a kind of, because in multiplayer, for the most part, people just kind of play how they want, but I don't really have that sense of like wanting to play this or that. So I tend to just kind of follow the flow of wherever the achievements take me to, or like wherever the banners and stuff. Like in previous COD games, you could get the calling cards, and those each had challenges as well. So I just kind of pick a random calling card, and then I would try to get that, and then I'd do it for the next one as well, or even try to go for like 5 at the same time. Maybe set up my class specifically so that I can try to attack 5 different calling cards at the same time. And that was always fun. That was always fun for me to kind of challenge myself in that way, because sometimes I'd get these really wonky classes, but then they would actually work really well, and I'd be honestly surprised. But it was really fun to do, so, and it's worth it. Now, this doesn't work for everyone, obviously, but for me, this is always how it's worked. And one problem that I have run into a lot is that I have over 200 games, video games to be specific. So I will never 100% complete everything, but at the same time, I'll never be bored of hunting achievements, which is nice. So play something that you don't mind grinding. If there is a game that you absolutely love, but you don't grind on, you can become bored of the game and not play it again for a while, which is not something you want, obviously. And if you want all the achievements for your favorite game, then come back to it here and there while hunting or playing other games in between. So that way you don't have to, worry about kind of knocking yourself out of wanting to play your favorite game. And that's something really important, because I feel like I did that for a while for Halo, because Halo is probably my favorite series. And I have the Master Chief Collection, which has 600 achievements. Actually, they just added Reach, so now they have, or not just added, but they recently added Halo Reach, so now there's 700 achievements in the game, which means that, I started grinding on that for a while, because that's a lot of achievements. I want to get a lot of them out of the way. I think I've 400 done out of those 700. And for a while, I just completely did not want to play the game, and I was sad because I was like, I kind of want to play Halo. But at the same time, it's just it's like I just played that for a month straight. I'm not really willing to go back just yet. So it's kind of like a tug of war going on between my wants when it came to that, which was a little weird, because it was I want to play the game, but I don't want to play the game. So I just didn't even know what to do with myself. So yeah, don't burn yourself out on a game trying to hunt achievements. That is something I am still trying to learn, because I'm a very grindy person, but at the same time, I will get very bored of a game if I do grind something, which doesn't really mix well or make sense why that's my personality, but that's how it works. So I need to try to, configure that to my personality, and then you guys can do the same thing. If you guys just like grinding and you don't get bored of games, then man, achievement hunting is the thing for you. But if you get burnt out easily, definitely have a select few games that you want to hunt for, or if there's a game that you like to just go back to and play, not even hunt achievements or anything, switch to that game every now and then, just play it for a little bit and then go back and hunt some more achievements, or even just stop hunting achievements and just play it normally, which is something I have done before as well. It's kind of okay, I've gotten this many collectibles out of this many collectibles. I think I'm just going to play the rest of the story, save my progress right here, and then just come back later at another time and finish off those collectibles, because I don't feel like finding the other 500, 900, whatever collectibles that there are. So, yeah. And if you also know someone who also likes achievement hunting, time will fly by a lot quicker with them, because, trust me, you'll have a lot of good laughs, especially in Halo when I was trying to get to different skulls and stuff like that, and there was some stuff where you needed to grenade or rocket jump, and oh my gosh, did we accidentally kill ourselves a lot with that. And it was fun. It was a lot of fun. It didn't seem like a grindy thing anymore. It seemed like a fun activity that me and my friends were doing. You know what I mean? It became something to overcome and laugh about and tell stories about. Then it became I'm going to sit here for 5 hours and try to rocket jump and keep killing myself and keep getting frustrated and end up storming out of the room, or et cetera, however it works. But not to mention it'll make a lot of challenges easier to complete. Like there's a lot of stuff that isn't necessarily co-op, but if you do make it co-op, then it is extremely easier. Like it makes it a lot, that was bad grammar, but it makes it a lot easier to get to that challenge and get to the completion of the challenge. And especially when you're trying to find collectibles in an open world game, like this can be really helpful as well, where you have one person searching like the south part of the map, while you have one person searching the north part of the map, or you could even do west, north, east, south, like split it up into like 4 quadrants or something like that among your friends. And don't be afraid to look up tutorials as well. Like I said earlier, like I look up tutorials on YouTube, and I am a huge achievement hunting person. I've had people give me, skepticism for it, but like, do I care? No. Like I'm getting what I want, so screw you. But but if you do look up a tutorial to figure out how to complete a certain achievement, I will say I will give you a little bit of flack if you do it for every single achievement, but still not much, because sometimes knowing how to do it and just doing it is the fun part, and I understand that completely. But yeah, don't be afraid to look up YouTube videos. When I first started achievement hunting, I did not want to do that because I felt like I was cheating. At this point, I don't care anymore. Like I will look up something if I'm having even the least bit of trouble, or even before I start hunting the achievement, if I think it's going to be slightly difficult. So yeah, sometimes I like to challenge myself and make it so that way I won't like for this achievement specifically, I know this is going to be really hard, but I'm not going to look up a tutorial. So yeah. But either way, you are still putting a lot of work into it, and you still deserve that achievement, or any achievement that you are trying to complete. Like seriously, don't stress out about it at all. Don't think you have a deadline for this stuff. I mean, for some reason you might, but for the most part, you're not going to have a deadline for this stuff. I think there actually have been achievements in the past. I think it was for Gears of War, that you needed to play within a certain time period to actually complete an achievement. It was really weird, and it kind of annoyed me, because I didn't get the game until after. But at the same time, now I can't go back, so it's not on my achievement list. So there you go. But I hope you enjoyed today's episode on hunting achievements. If there are any questions, please feel free to comment or comment on the episode or email me. I'm especially happy to answer questions about achievement hunting, because this is one of my favorite hobbies to do within gaming. So yeah, game on.
Find AFcast on Instagram and Twitter, @AF Community, for any updates on future podcast episodes. If you want to join the community Discord, find a link in the description or on the website, afcommunity.com. Special thanks to DJ Augie for making the music for this podcast.